Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the MPN 101 community call. My name is Chinmay Bhavani Shankar. I'm part of the US Partner Experience team, and my job is to simplify the partner program one topic at a time through my MPN 101 community calls, through the MPN community, blog posts, and basically to make sure that you are using your program benefits and are not leaving any money on the table. With me today, we have Tarang Shah, who will be the superstar of the call. She is the subject matter expert on referrals. And we also have with us Barry O'Sullivan, who will be available for questions if there are any as we go through referrals and the new partner experience. As with every MPN 101 call at the beginning, I will be giving you a quick overview of the program and the membership options. So if you've been to an MPN 101 call before, please bear with me. The Microsoft Partner Network has three membership options. There is network membership, which is free. You get some introductory benefits and access to training. And then there is the Action Pack subscription, which is an annual paid subscription. So for less than $500 a year, you get access to internal use licenses, and it's typically ideal for small businesses or businesses starting out with building a Microsoft practice. The third option is competencies, which is an earned designation. There are a few steps that you need to fulfill in order to earn your competency at the silver or the gold level. And before we go into competencies, coming and taking a step back to the Action Pack subscription, it's about $475 a year. There are no exams or assessments required. You get access to Microsoft software for internal use. And as I said before, it's ideal for small businesses with 10 or fewer employees, or independent software vendors, or businesses that are new to the Microsoft ecosystem. And when we talk about competencies, there are 18 different competencies today. And I say today, that's because the one thing that's constant with the Microsoft Partner Program is change. So I'd definitely like to encourage all of you to expect change with the Partner Program as we continue to evolve to keep up with the changes in technology and changes in the Microsoft business. So as you can see, there are 18 competencies. Each one of them are broken into 6 pillars: cloud platform and infrastructure, productivity, data management and analytics, mobility, dynamic business applications, and app builder or independent software vendor. And of these 18 competencies, there are 6 cloud performance competencies, and there are 4 steps to attain a cloud competency. One, you'll have to demonstrate sales performance. Again, this is specific to each of the cloud competency. You'll have to pass technical exams and certifications. Provide customer evidence, so basically having your customers refer you as the partner that they worked with. You'll have to provide 3 customer referrals for silver and 5 for gold. And the 4th step is that you have to pay a fee. In return for that, with a cloud competency, you get unlimited support in the product that you have a cloud competency in. So for example, if you get an Office 365 competency, you get unlimited signature cloud support around Office 365. You get additional software licenses and Azure credits based on the cloud competency that you have. You also get eligibility to partner incentives with a competency, and you get guaranteed account coverage, so someone at Microsoft that you can work with if you get a gold cloud competency. If you ever have audio issues, please try refreshing your browser. And again, this is just an overview of the cloud competencies. You don't need to have a cloud competency in order to make the most of this call. We do talk about referrals, but I wanted to kind of make sure that we understand, since cloud is the focus of Microsoft at this point in time, and the focus is always on cloud competencies. You get a set of core benefits and a set of incremental benefits based on the competency that you have. So for example, for Microsoft Azure, in addition to the core benefits, you get an added Azure bulk credit for internal use. So $6,000 for silver and $12,000 for gold. Again, these are just some highlights of what you would get with a cloud competency. If you are interested in getting a cloud competency, make sure you nominate yourself to the Cloud Enablement Desk. This is a service that Microsoft offers where you can get access to the Cloud Program Specialist for up to 6 months, and they will guide you through the steps to attain a competency. Thank you, George. If you want to click the HD button at the bottom of your window to change it to SD, the streaming becomes easier if you end up having any issues. All right. So that was kind of the initial overview that I give with any MPN 101 community call. If you have any questions, I'd like to pause there before we get into the meat of the topic. There aren't any more questions. When you're building technology solutions, whether it's services or applications, there are 4 stages for your journey. First, you have an idea and you explore what Microsoft offers to help you understand the possibilities for bringing that idea to life. Next, you decide to partner with Microsoft and rely on the tools and resources that are right for you to accelerate your path to delivering a differentiated solution. Your solution is ready, and it's time to plan how you'll take it to market. And to maximize your impact, you use the Microsoft Marketplace, Referrals program, and partner ecosystem connection and community. And throughout this life cycle, you have a consistent, predictable experience that helps you identify opportunities and determine how to engage with us. That consistent, predictable experience is what we are aiming at. Although we do know and we have heard from your feedback that the partner experience hasn't quite been up to par, and we're working on it day in and day out to make sure that this experience is consistent and predictable. And based on that, we're working to get you a streamlined and unified way to work with us, where you can reach more customers through referral engines, you can grow your capability, and you can simplify your partnership with us. And there's only one touch point. There is an experience that you know what to expect with Microsoft. And with that, and that first part of reaching more customers is where referrals comes into picture. And when you're accessing this experience, right now, maybe all of you might not have access to this new membership experience that we just talked about. But you are being invited, and make sure that you understand that this is kind of a rolling invite that happens. So some partners have already been invited to this new membership experience preview, and others are being invited on a rolling basis, and invitations are being sent. So don't feel like you're missing out on anything. You are on the line, and we're making sure that all of our different partner groups have a consistent experience before we kind of move you over and give you that preview for the new membership experience. So you can go to Partner Membership Center and check your notifications to see if you have that invite already or not. And again, as I said, in that first part of streamlining your experience comes reaching more customers. And that is where referrals comes into picture. And with that, I'd like to invite Tarang onto the call. Hi, Tarang.
Hi, Chinmay. Hello, everybody.
Would you want to introduce yourself really quickly?
Absolutely. everybody. Tarang Shah. I represent one commercial partner organization, and I work on the referrals program within Partner Centers. So I'm excited to talk to you guys today. And I understand that there was a mix of information based in terms of referrals capability, what you know today, what you want to know. So I want there to be fluidity in the conversation so we can get maximum out of this time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a good mix of people, some of them that have no clue what referrals is all about, and some of them that have very specific questions that they'll be typing in the window, and I'll relay them over to you. So,
Perfect.
Tarang, what is this referrals program or referrals engine?
Yes. So, Chinmay, to your point about overall, our goal is to simplify the partner experience, and the referrals goal actually is in alignment with that. What we want to do is help customers find and connect with the right partners at the right time. And really help them on their digital transformation journey. And we are on that path to deliver that consistent and predictable experience for partners as well. So our goal is to have a single partner directory listing behind this referral engine that can power multiple marketing sites, multiple sales agencies within Microsoft, with the hope that across the board, wherever the referral or the customer is coming from, we can ultimately drive it through one single, consistent, predictable experience. So, like I said, that's the journey we are on.
And how does a partner kind of get access to this benefit?
So the way to get access to this benefit is by making sure that there is a business profile listed in the Partner Center portal. And as Chinmay, you mentioned earlier, this is an evolving experience and journey for us, and we will be communicating more on this in the weeks and months to come. But today, Partner Center as a portal is available to a certain set of partners, either because they are managing their CSP transactions or because they've already been migrated for multiple different reasons. So for partners who already have access to Partner Center and are in the system, the way to get access to this program would be to build a business profile in the system, and that is really your view of declaring expertise and preferences on the kind of referrals you want to receive from the customers. And once that business profile is listed in the directory, you're really eligible to receive referrals from any source that has already been integrated in the Microsoft system. So leads coming in through Microsoft.com directly, or they could be qualified leads coming in from inside sales team or our CSS chat agents. So there are multiple plug points, and you could be receiving referrals from any of those points.
And does a partner have to have like a specific competency in order to create a business profile?
So in order to create a business profile, you have to be in the system. And that really is the basic requirement. And really, any partner can create a business profile today. And again, I say today because, like you said earlier, this is an evolving journey. And as we think about the program evolution and changes to that, we will definitely convey, any modifications that are made to this policy. But once you're listed in this directory, there's also a logic that is added on top of it to determine the partners who will be surfacing up at the top anytime a customer comes in with a requirement. And that is where competency plays a very key role. Our competency partners are the partners that we have verified the expertise for at a variety of granularity levels. And so we do surface our competency partners up at the top, increasing the probability of receiving referrals. I will say this though, as we think about this referral engine, this really is a new approach to referrals. And what we are doing is we are transitioning from older systems where we had thousands of curated lists and referrals were sort of pushed to, partners in a very specific format, and were considered more of a benefit. So ultimately, it will be a system where customer success, and regarding the specific industry they belong to, or the customer size they have, or the specific solutions or services they receive from the partners, that will be the primary way of connecting customers with partners. And that in conjunction with some of the other parameters like our programmatic framework like competencies, or over time we will also have other capabilities like ability for customers to provide ratings or reviews through LinkedIn integration in Partner Center as well. So in the upcoming months, those are some of the features that we'll be adding. So the paradigm shift here is the customer is the king. Whatever works best for the customer, and we will the goal is to make the system as objective and transparent as possible so that we can actually convey to you what are the key drivers of success and what is it that you need to do in the system to grow and drive better customer relationships.
We have a question where someone's asking, is there a list of types of referrals we'd like to get? So if I build a business profile, can I specify what kind of referrals I want to get?
That is a very interesting question. I would love to know more about it and what you mean by type of referrals, and if that is referring to the level of qualification that has gone in it. Today, we do not have a way to do that, but I would love to know more about this particular ask.
Can you also please repeat the 3 sources of referrals? I believe you said field sales.
So there are actually multiple sources of referrals, Chinmay. If you think about, there is obviously one is direct web. So the customer search experience that actually sits on Microsoft.com today, it is also available on Store for Business site. In the next few months, our conversations are to also make it available on our other marketing sites like Azure, Office, Windows, Learning, IoT. Again, the point being that we want to have the consistent search experience and directory and approach in driving those customer and partner connections. Now, this is the direct web traffic. In addition to that, we also have our sales team, so that does include inside sales, our CSS pre-sales team, where our chat and phone agents are in contact with the customer and sending those leads through Partner Center as well. We also have retail store agents routing leads through Partner Center. So these are multiple sales organizations within the company that are already plugged in. And in addition to that, and in reality, really, there are, the folks in the field who are driving referrals to partners as well. So these are the current motions that are driving leads to Partner Center. And like I said, there is varying level of qualification. However, in the dashboard itself, you can distinguish between the lead that is coming directly from the customer through a website versus a lead coming in from one of our sales agents.
And the question earlier about the types of referrals, the clarification is, for example, referrals who need help with security or with marketing, etc. So as a partner, can I determine that I'm looking for customers that need help with marketing or securities because that's where my expertise lies?
Oh, that is a great question. So that we actually have the ability. So when you create a business profile today, you can actually, there's, obviously we take some basic information, which includes a description, a logo, your marketing site, and also your LinkedIn site. And just, the LinkedIn site information that we take today, we pull out some basic information, and we expect this integration to get deeper in the upcoming months. But then you can declare really your preferences on the kind of referrals you want to get. So what you do is put your expertise along the lines of industry, products, services, and solutions. And when you do that, we actually match what the customers are telling us and what the requirement is with what you have entered in your profile. So there is that match that is done. So it is done on the 4 categories that I mentioned. In addition to that, we also get your preference on the customer size that you want to work with. Now, the thing that I will highlight here is that more is not necessarily better, because ultimately this system will rely on data and machine learning and customer success being driven through this engine. The referrals sent your way will be determined based on what you're saying, among other things, and you want to be accurate in the profile to indicate really the kind of referrals that you would ultimately want to work on. I would love to get your feedback once you have gone through the experience of, what preferences you can establish. I'd love to get your feedback on, are there some other areas or some other preferences that aren't captured but are helpful for you?
And is there a separate lead source for P-seller partners?
So the P-seller partners, I would think of it this way. If you think about, we have talked a lot about the sell with motion in the field with the partners and with the customers. And that scenario can really be broken down into 2. One is when, somebody from Microsoft sales team is closely engaged in a deal from beginning till end, what we call co-sell. And the other one is what we are calling the partner-led motion, or the refer and track motion, where our sales team can actually connect customers with partners, but aren't that closely engaged in the end-to-end journey. So the P-seller motion, or the P-seller motion or the co-sell motion is being driven through a separate tool called Partner Center Sales Connect. It is a different tool from Partner Center today. I acknowledge the name being very similar and confusing. So, I take that feedback already. But those are 2 different tools driving different scenarios. And P-seller motions are primarily driven through co-sell motion into Sales Connect tool.
Sounds good. The other question... Can the referral engine identify direct or indirect partners in a particular geographic area?
So the referral engine itself, as of now, does not put any partner type hats on partners. But that is an area we do want to and need to explore further, only because the type of customer engagements each of these partners want to do are different. So we are already seeing behavior where indirect providers or disties want different kinds of referrals versus resellers. And so our guidance is to have a profile be in the system if you are wanting to receive a direct end customer deal, whether it's qualified or unqualified. This system is currently optimized for what we are calling the customer to partner connection. Over time, the goal is to also enhance it for partner to partner connection, where these additional customer types will come into play.
And George kind of reinforces this, that the problem a lot of us are having is being found in the search tools at Microsoft. Can you talk about whether the database will surface partners locally, but instead it shows partners from other regions despite tagging?
So I'll rephrase the question to make sure I understand it clearly. The ask is around the search experience and how partners are showing up or not showing up in spite of the preferences that that have been established in the tool, right?
Correct. Yeah, specifically regarding location.
Yeah. So when you're creating a business profile, for every account, you could have a business profile for every country that you do business in, and that's the current design. It could evolve in the upcoming months, and we'll definitely convey if there are any changes. But for every country that you create your business profile, you can add up to 5 distinct locations within the vicinity of which you are wanting to receive referrals. Now, at the end of the day, if you look at the search experience, the customer chooses the proximity to the partner and the importance of that for them. If they are looking for a partner who's right next to them, they can actually specify a geography, like a radius within which they are looking for a partner. And in that case, what will happen is obviously there's a variety of factors that influence the search results, and geography actually sets the parameter within which the search is conducted. It does not determine the rank. It does not determine the, where the partner is showing up, but it purely determines where the search is being conducted. Over time, and literally like within the next month or so, there are going to be enhancements done in the search experience. So there is greater control over the tags that, the customers or sellers or anybody driving the search experience, they want to enter within the context of what they're looking for. So there is going to be increased flexibility. But again, the role of geography would be to define the radius within which the search is conducted.
And Andrew is also asking, we've had a profile for over 2 months. We haven't received any referrals. Is there a way to confirm that we're doing it right? And what can we expect?
I will definitely be able to follow up after the call for the specific case, but the slide that you're seeing up right now in the presentation actually is a page on the MPN portal. And there are 2 sets of resources on this portal that'll be helpful in A, making sure that you are set up correctly in the system, and B, you're doing the right things. And I would love to make sure that everybody on this call has had access to these resources. So on this page, if you go further down, and obviously it's a screenshot, but if you go further down, there is a downloadable guide, but then there are, what you see on the image right now, 3 different videos that really tell you how to, set up in the system correctly, how to make sure that if you're set up in the system correctly, how do you be successful with customers as you're receiving referrals, and how to think about it differently. And to Andrew's point, if you're not receiving referrals, it could be a combination, and this is what we are seeing a lot actually, it could be a combination of not being set in the system correctly, and that means the person creating the profile or the person receiving the referrals has to have the right user role set up in the system. And unless that is done, you will not be able to see those referrals or respond to those referrals. So I will definitely start by making sure that it is set up correctly. And then beyond that, love to follow up as needed to answer any specific questions.
So, and coming to that, Tarang, where would a partner go to kind of contact support? So for that question specifically that Andrew had, am I doing everything right? I think I've done everything. I've been waiting for 2-3 months. I haven't seen any leads come through. Is it like a system issue, or is it something that I didn't do right? Where can they go to kind of get that support?
This is a great question, Chinmay, and our recommendation is for every single issue related to referrals or partner center be routed to our support desk. There is a link to get to that, and we should definitely share it in our resources as well as we share out the deck. But the link is aka.ms/RSC, which is our regional support team. And they are trained to respond to questions like these. So they are appropriately equipped at this point so that they can respond to partners.
Perfect. Thank you. And Dan had a couple suggestions, especially since we're talking about multiple locations. For those of us with multiple MPN locations, it would be a tremendous time saver if an existing business profile could be copied to another location.
Okay, I will take a note of that feature.
And for ISVs with multiple solutions, there's a limit of 30 tags in the solutions skills and capability box, and it is a little restrictive. Is it possible for that to be expanded?
This is something that does require more systematic thinking on our part, to be very honest. If you think about ISV solutions and even other systems like AppSource or Azure Marketplace, those are the places where solutions are showcased. And those are the places where customers could be coming in when they're looking for specific solutions. Now, what they're doing through this referral engine is looking for partners based on those solutions. So this isn't meant to be a catalog of solutions or even products for that matter. But what we are hoping to do is also in the future drive connection between, partners who are receiving referrals here and other marketplaces where customers are coming in and generating leads. So I would, this is definitely things for us to think about as to how do partners declare their solutions and expertise on one system and how do we connect it as a referral in another system. And I don't know if that completely answered the question, so let me know if there's a follow-up there.
Yeah. And I think somewhere along the same lines, Catherine says, how are partners displayed? Is it alphabetical? Because when I search specifically in Oxnard, our company is located in Oxnard, but other partners in Glendale and Irvine show up.
So, partners are definitely not showing up alphabetically, and that's something I can tell you. But a couple other things I will say, about geography again. Geography does give you the radius within which the search is conducted. So somebody could specify, a specific location and say, look for a partner within 500 miles, or they could say something as big as United States. And then that determines the radius within which the search is conducted. The rank is not determined by the proximity to that, customer location necessarily. Now, while it is not alphabetical, it is putting competency partners up at the top. And right now, until we have data and machine learning and more systematic programmatic ways to determine partner expertise at our level, we are using temporary endorsements in the system, which are fed by a program called C2PC, which was an SMB referral program, and some other internal programs. So we have taken input from existing programs, seeded the system with it, with the hope that these are temporary and we will move towards something that's more systematic and transparent.
Got it. So it's still an evolving experience, and ideally, it is a partner with the highest capability and credentials that will show up, even if you might be geographically closer to a particular radius that a customer has put in.
Absolutely. And in fact, in the next few months, what you will also begin to see is a more systematic integration of performance in the system as a way to surface partners in the search results. So the experience that you see today is actually going to evolve significantly based on, additional filters and these factors influencing it.
Cool. I want to skip really quickly to Barry. We have a couple questions. Hi, Barry. How are you?
Good morning, Chimai. Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
Do you want to introduce yourself really quickly?
Of course, yeah. So my name is Barry O'Sullivan, and I am in the MPN Global Programs team. I'm a peer of Tarang's, and my focus is helping all of our partners get off PMC into our new consistent and predictable partner experience, which I know Chinmay is going to ask me lots of questions about now.
Yeah, so one of the questions that we've had repeatedly is where can we see a roadmap, for transition and for features or functionality for this new partner membership experience?
Great question. So let me break it into two phases. Let me talk a little bit about the experience and what partners can expect from an experience, and then talk a little bit about transition. So the new experience, and Tarang was deep diving on some of the scenarios and capabilities that we're lighting up for referrals, is very much a work in progress. And so the easiest way to talk about roadmap is the phase or the stage we're in now is what we're trying to do is ensure that partners are able to do the same things that they did in our old tools that they will be able to do in this new system. So from an MPN perspective, we're looking to ensure that partners can continue to purchase offers at the MAPS silver and gold level and can continue to enroll in benefit packages that align to the competencies that they have acquired. So yes, the UI will certainly look different, but programmatically and systematically, partners should still be able to do the same things. So we don't necessarily, or right now we're not publishing externally a roadmap that says, hey, this feature will be available on this date, because we expect everything that you're familiar with and that you're able to do to manage your business in PMC, as an example. At the very least, you should be able to do that in the new experience that we're creating. So if you are a MAPS partner today and you've purchased a SEPSA MAPS benefit and you access them through PMC, when you transition, you should be able to do exactly the same set of things and be able then to enroll in competencies if you want to do that. One of the things that we can do, Chinmay, if it's beneficial, is we can share sooner rather than later what some of those new UX experience looks like, which may help alleviate those questions around, oh, what's this going to look like and how am I going to navigate my way around it? It looks significantly better than PMC. I can certainly share that piece. So if that's helpful, very happy to share some kind of high-level screenshots so people get a feel for what it looks like.
Sounds good.
So that's the first part, the transition piece. Do you want me to talk about transition? Okay, and this is probably a little bit more. I can be super specific here, because what we've been doing so far is that we've been looking at, as I said, as we replicate those experiences between PMC and Partner Center and making sure that partners are able to still do the same set of activities. Depending on the type of relationship you've had in PMC, it may be very complex or it may be very, very simple. And one of the things we've been doing is we've been targeting the most simple scenarios right now, and we've been inviting partners from PMC to transition based on their anniversary date and ensuring that what they've had in PMC, they can continue to have in the new world. So we're almost on the cusp of being able to open the floodgates and start inviting significantly more partners to come over. One of the other things that we're looking to light up is that we're not going to bind it or tie it to anniversary date. We're actually going to give partners the opportunity to go through this, to move into the new world and continue to use the benefits and use everything that they've had as, within the PMC world, but administer and manage that in the new world. So in the next, I want to say less than 3 months, we expect that we will be able to invite, certainly in the US specifically, we will be able to invite the vast majority of our partners to come and experience the new world. And at that stage, we expect to have all competencies, all benefit packages, everything that a partner would expect in terms of their MPN relationship that they've had in PMC, they would transition across into Partner Center. There's a couple of gotchas, though. That there's one or two gotchas that I want to call out very, very quickly. Is that the transition will require partners to do a little bit of work, which requires setting up that account again, and that account will be associated with a work ID or with an Azure Active Directory tenant. So there's a little bit of thought that a partner will have to put into associating that and figuring out which account they'd like to use. If they have multiple tenants, as an example, we strongly recommend, or we are going to strongly recommend, that partners use the same account for membership from an MPN perspective, for referrals when it comes to managing everything that Tarang was talking about, and eventually for things like incentives. And so part of our guidance will be going out to partners and saying, hey, traditionally we've asked you to log into different systems with multiple accounts and create different profiles and different, you show up to us differently and there's a lot of tax to manage. We want to really greatly simplify that. So there was another question about managing referrals in multiple locations. By tying and binding everything to a single account, we are really hoping that partner experience is significantly better in the future. It's going to take there's a little bit of change to get to get there, but we hope it's going to be a better scenario. And then the final thing is there will be user reassociation. So because users in PMC were all linked in with their MPSA credentials, MPSA and our new world is built on an Azure login, there will be a reassociation piece that partners will have to do as we go through that transition.
Got it.
I hope all that helps.
So basically you're saying that it'll be a little bit of work up front, but again, the idea and goal is to have a consistent experience, and that will last a lifetime once a partner actually does this transition.
That's our goal. It's one of our key goals, yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you. Any idea yet when big global partners will be transitioned?
Talk to me about a global what's your definition of a global partner?
I don't know. I'll have to have our attendee that asked the question give us a little more clarification on that.
Perfect. Let me take a stab at it. And oh, sorry.
Sorry. In the meantime, just one question. I know earlier you talked about, we talked about there being a notification on Partner Membership Center.
Oh, yes. Good call,
how does one access that to just kind of make sure that they didn't miss out on an invite?
Great question. That's a very good question. So once you are added to the list to move to the new world, the next time the admin of the PMC MPN account, in Partner Membership Center, logs into PMC, they will get a pop-up screen that you cannot miss that says, "Congratulations, you've been selected, you're moving." It'll have all the instructions associated with that. That user will be able to defer it for a period of time, but eventually they will have to click a get started link. So that pop-up will continue to pop up every time that primary program contact logs in and sees that. There will also be a banner at the very, very top of Partner Membership Center, which essentially has the same information. So the pop-up will appear every time, and that banner will stay there consistently regardless of what page you are in PMC. So it's very, very difficult to miss.
Again,
you will also...
It will be for the primary program contact only, correct?
I want to say yes, but I will confirm that to be 100% sure. I know that was the original design only because we need the primary program contact. That account setup for the first time does require a little bit of thought and does require both a business person to make decisions in terms of how they want to set up the new organization, plus the need for an IT, let's say a global admin of the Azure Active Directory tenant to make the right decisions. And so we had been pretty purposeful about engaging with the primary program contacts specifically, or primary program contacts if there are multiple.
Got it. And again, we had a question, and I'm trying to address that. And Barry, correct me if I'm wrong. The question is, what are the minimum requirements to get the invitation? And my understanding is there are no requirements to get the invitation. It's
correct.
Purely based on Microsoft's end, how technically and functionally capable we are making that experience, and partners will get invited on a rolling basis based on how prepared we are or not. Is that right?
That's a very good way of saying it. That's traditionally how we've been approaching it. And to give you guys a little bit extra context, the vast majority of partners that we've invited so far have actually been Maps guys, because we know we had those experience set up. When we have invited a very small set of competency partners initially, generally single competency partners only, who generally don't have a ton of complexity on the incentive side of the business. So that has been a key decision for us, is that if you're enrolled in a number of incentive programs, we want to make sure that downstream systems continue to recognize and make sure that we don't break anything. So we have been taking it slowly right now to make sure we don't break anything for the partner when we bring them across. And PMC was around for so long, it has a lot of hooks into different things. Good news is, as I said previously, we anticipate to scale in the next, certainly between now and the end of June, to invite substantially more partners in the US to be able to come across and experience this new, and then decouple from the anniversary date requirement that we had previously internally ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess long story short, it is a complex system, and as we're moving over to this new experience, we want to make sure that we adhere to the feedback and give our partners a good experience, and that will take time because of how long the partner program has been around and how long and how engaged partners have been with all the different tools. And as we're moving towards that one universal truth and that one front door, we just want to be mindful of the fact that your experience still stays the same and we don't miss anything. So again, no requirements to get the invitation. It's just when we're ready based on functionality, you'll get the invite and you'll get that pretty soon.
Global partner.
Yeah, and so I think the global partner question was we're based in 35 countries worldwide. We have a large number of MPN locations and associated individuals. When can we expect to make that transition over to the new world?
Excellent. Okay, that's good. So we had the same definition of a global partner. Again, probably from an internal Microsoft perspective, one of the more complex scenarios for us is, yes, a partner that has multiple locations, has a ton of MPN IDs and is doing business all over the world. Our expectation is that yes, as we build these new capabilities, global partners will be part of that general invite as well. There are one or two additional scenarios that we need to light up for the global partner, and it's really around the account structure and making sure that if you're a global partner, some global partners would like to send or have in PMC, for an example, centralized how they manage their competencies and benefits and how they've managed their users centrally. Others have done it, have decentralized setups where where they have separate competencies and separate benefits in Europe or in the UK, for example, versus the ones that they have in North America. So to support those two scenarios where you have centralized versus decentralized, there's a couple of additional scenarios that we have to engineer from an experience perspective. I will say that if you're the major global partners that have the most complex setups from our perspective in terms of their relationship in PMC, will get additional support from Microsoft to help them through the transition, because they will have significantly more number of users and the change curve might be a little bit greater on them than, we'll say, a partner who does most of their business in the same region. But yes, timeline wise, global partners are still within that window that we're talking about in terms of beginning to start being able to invite those guys between now and the end of June. And then one of the things we will do probably is give partners time to consume this change and this move before they hit their anniversary date, and they actually have to do it. But the plan from our perspective is to try and get partners there as quickly as possible, as seamlessly as possible as well. So it's a fine line between balancing those two.
Sounds good. And Tarang, this is probably a question for you, but kind of related. So is the referral engine then a part of that new experience? So will a partner have to wait until they're invited in order to create a profile and get into the referral engine?
The short answer is yes. The referral engine does sit behind Partner Center portal, where Barry just mentioned, there'll be invitations sent to partners to be invited into. And I will say that there are, a lot of partners already in the system, because the legacy of this portal is that it started as being the transaction hub for CSP transacting partners. So I will say that, some partners already have access to it, and I encourage them to create a profile and understand how referrals work. For the remainder of the partners, we do have to wait for the bigger migration that Barry just spoke about.
Sounds good. Thank you. And I'm still looking at questions. If you have any other questions, do let me know. Trying to get everything done. I know we're approaching time already. And Tarang, that other question about tagging, I think you explained it in that the point is regarding search experience limitations in which cloud archiving does not automatically track archiving leads and vice versa. The enhanced search experience will be able to alleviate these issues as it will make it easier for customers to search against pre-entered tags by the partners. So Dan, that was in response to your question about cloud archiving as a tag, but not showing up in the results when a customer searches for it. So hopefully the new search experience will ease that problem as well.
Yep, absolutely.
And so another question was, we have gotten referrals and we reached out immediately. However, the customer prospect advised us that they already completed the task and did not need assistance. So I guess that comes down to lead management in terms of what does a partner do when they get the leads and how quickly, even though there are instances like the one that I just mentioned where they reached out to the customer as soon as possible, but still kind of got the answer that the task was taken care of.
Yes, and you know what this is also reflective of is a somewhat more competitive system that is being built in the system. So when a customer comes into the Microsoft Search Experience page and they enter the requirements and we populate the search results with a set of partners, they can themselves select up to 3 partners right away to send the referral to. And what happens is it sounds like you're already engaging with the customer, you're contacting the customer, and that's what the other partners are doing as well. What we are already noticing based on the data that we have so far is that partners who are responding within minutes and somewhat earlier do have a higher chances of success with the customer. But if there are other nuances that aren't captured, I would say that when you close the referral as lost or declined in various different stages, do let us know what the reason is. So we have a better understanding of why that referral did not work out for you. We will use that information to A, improve the system, and B, improve the kind of referrals that are sent your way.
Got it. So there's already an area to capture that feedback, and you're encouraging partners to kind of give that feedback in writing so that you can take that and improve the system internally. Is that right?
Absolutely. That area is actually integrated in the referral management experience itself. So there is really, like, if you're managing a referral in Partner Center, there isn't a way to skip that area. If you are not moving forward with a particular lead at any stage, we do ask for your input. The resources that Chinmay shared on the slide do refer to the MPN portal, and it has the details of what those different stages of referral management are, what the associated SLA for each of those is, and what the expected outcome or guidance is.
Now, Tarang, I know you talked about the referrals engine part of things also being kind of an evolving experience. Are there any details or a roadmap for referrals in particular and what's changing?
So some things I will sort of reiterate. One is we are improving the search experience so it is more intuitive and is better aligned with what you are mentioning in your profile. B, we are going to have integration of customer ratings and reviews in the upcoming months. I don't have crisp dates just yet. We'll have a better understanding in the upcoming weeks. But the idea is that a customer will be able to log in through their LinkedIn account and will be able to provide feedback for partners through that account integration. The expectation is that, there is authenticity and credibility attached to that LinkedIn login, and people will be more earnest and honest in their feedback. So those are a couple of the things that are highlighted. In addition to that, what you enter in your profile today is going to change in the next month or so as well. So I do encourage you to go back and check in and think of your business profile as your LinkedIn profile, something that you continuously work on and improve.
Thank you. And we have a couple questions that I'd like to address, so we will be a couple minutes over. There's a question about satisfaction that's on your screen right now, folks. So if you are dropping off, please let us know how satisfied you were with the content that was presented. Another question, Tarang, was, will we be notified about changes to the profile?
That is a fantastic question. I am looking into how best we can communicate these changes to you, either through external blogs or through in-partner center notifications. So I will be providing more details, but we are looking into this right now.
And is there a URL where customers go to look for partners?
Yes, there is a URL, and Chinmay, I can share that with you if you want to share with partners. And
Yeah.
in reality, there will be multiple URLs because the same search experience, like I mentioned, could sit on multiple marketing sites.
Correct.
But I'll share the one that is there on Microsoft.com.
Yeah, I think at least initially it might be useful for partners as they set up their profile to kind of say, hey, did I set it up correctly so that when I search for something, I show up, and that's where I want to show up, if that makes any sense. Almost a test and learn process for partners also.
Absolutely.
And I think there was one other. Will the Microsoft Partner Center referrals continue in Partner Center during the transition?
I don't think I fully understand the question. The transition is to Partner Center, so the referrals in Partner Center will stay there. The goal is to bring other referrals in the system as well.
Yeah, okay. And that makes sense. And I will give you, for customer search, here's the link, folks, and I'm putting that out as an announcement. We're definitely over time. Thank you for your engagement, and thank you, Tarang and Barry, for the amazing information. This was very useful and sets context to something that's new and coming up and much needed on the partner end as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Thanks, Jemai.
Yep, thanks.